Turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Team Secrets turn to ban. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Team Secrets turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Right, welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we go. Our final matchup is upon us. Kinguin versus Secrets. There's a chance it's going to be postponed, but that chance doesn't exist, apparently. We got it, so definitely things to be excited about. Again, I'm Breaky CPK, going to be joined by Skim here. So, obviously, Secret, they come off quite the grind of a series there to get to this point, so didn't have much of a break in between, but I mean, they're experienced. They've been through plenty of these before. I don't know if that's necessarily going to phase them too much. Kinguin's been sitting back after a fun 3-game series that they had earlier on today as well. So it took them, quite the effort against what was Evil Corporation, but advancing
10
on.
seconds remaining.
And looking forward to this one. I really am. This again could go either way with these two teams the way they're playing lately.
Definitely. I think we've seen in that last series that Secret is not unbeatable by any means, and that Kinguin is definitely, I mean, even earlier today, but even at the Perfect World Master, we've seen that Kinguin certainly can upset anybody, really. They can always take a game off of any team. So I'm also very excited about this. Actually interesting seeing the bans right now, because I think both teams are sort of opting to not really ban signature heroes at all. I mean, yeah, there are still some signature heroes being banned out. We see the Rubik, Brewmaster, Doom. But, again, yeah, the point I was going to make, heroes like Chen, heroes like Omninat not taken out, even though those are usually the top bans against both respective teams. So, it's strange, but, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if obviously this is, something that they've prepared for, something that they're looking forward to, I think if you're Kinguin, you definitely knew this Chen was going to come if you don't ban it.
5 seconds remaining.
I'm actually really surprised by how much time they're taking, because in the previous game, you know, we've seen both teams fly through the bans rather quickly. But it goes to show, obviously, both teams are difficult to draft against. Secret and Kinguin, you know, have very deep hero pools. Secret, I think their cores, you know, Fata, Mid One, and Ace, possibly one of the most flexible cores in the scene right now, at least at the top tier level. You know, we have Ace with Ace can play virtually any carry. Fata, because he's played mid and carry before, has also very deep hero pool, and we have, of course, Mid One, who just dominates on so many heroes as well. So not easy to ban against at all. And I'm also not surprised to see the Tiny ban, though. Secret definitely like playing around the Tiny.
10 seconds remaining.
It's just a comfort pick of theirs, so denying that is very important here.
5 seconds remaining. Turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining.
Those games were a bit, I mean, not to take anything away from Kinguin, right? I think Kinguin definitely showed that they're a really strong team. But at the end of the day, it was also Secret playing with CTY as a stand-in, and there were definitely a lot of communication issues early on. I mean, granted, obviously, CTY doesn't speak English, and they had to communicate via chat wheel, but you could tell that they weren't necessarily on the same page as to what to do. And always, you know, reaction times were really slow, and then, you know, the item builds from CTY sometimes are really questionable. So I fully expect a completely different Secret here, but at the same time, Kinguin has learned a lot from that first LAN event. You know, as a team, it wasn't their first LAN event, but it was basically their first, like, top tier LAN event, and being able to play against all these teams, to scrim them, to talk to them, to exchange ideas and, you know, thoughts about the meta, is so clutch that I wouldn't be surprised if in the coming weeks we see a completely different and even stronger Kinguin than we've seen before.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
It's most likely a support Sand King though. Fata doesn't really run the offlane Sand King that much, and it's not really I mean, it could be a sort of Fata hero, but I don't know. He just doesn't like playing it, and Bad Rider is definitely one of his heroes. So most likely that's how the heroes are distributed right now. Yeah, the Wyvern. I'm surprised it wasn't a ban. It is a very popular first phase ban against Kinguin, especially in Europe. Like, European teams don't want to give them Wyvern at all. We've definitely seen teams at Perfect World Masters sort of giving them the Wyvern, experimenting here a little bit, but they were also heavily punished. Newbie will still look back on that one game that they lost against Kinguin, and well, I guess I can still feel happy since they won the event in overall, but still that one stung.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
Weaver.
Yeah, that's why these first experiences for Kinguin are so important. You know, any team that, you know, any qualifier that Secret doesn't play in, or I guess it's just not invited to, or where they're directly invited to the event, is where these teams have to take those opportunities, get to the LAN event, and then become better. Because in the first couple of qualifiers, Secret just stomped everybody. It wasn't not even close. You know, they 3-0 teams in the grand finals, no contention whatsoever. But because, again, you know, teams like Kinguin, teams like Penta in the meantime have caught up, and, you know, they're giving Secret a run for their money now. Obviously, you know, Secret also just coming off of the Perfect World Masters, and, you know, they also didn't play with Mid-1 for a while, so there's also something there. But still, Kinguin, Penta, Mousesports, these teams are hungry for the third spot. Like you mentioned, you know, OG definitely not the third team just yet. They're struggling, and these teams are looking to fill that spot right now. And if Kinguin win here, I definitely think we can look at them as the third best team in Europe right now.
Turn to pick.
Exactly.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Shadow Fiend.
Ten seconds remaining.
Yeah, they could. You know, we definitely see more and more safe lane razors than usually, and or even a core Omni Knight. Not sure which team it was, but we've definitely seen carry. Or I've seen carry Omni Knight. I'm not sure which team it was. Was it actually at Perfect World Masters? I think it was. I'm not entirely sure. Either way, you know, Lich Band definitely a little bit weird, but I do expect a carry to come out of this loss. Was it Mushi? Right? Yeah. It's not impossible by any means. It's not great either. It's very situational.
Still would feel a little.
You would run.
Go like offlane Winter Wyvern. But...
Yeah, it would be a bit weak since you'd have like Lich Wyvern as supports, but
You may now select your
maybe Secret just wanted to make sure that they don't get, you know, their lanes denied. Against an SF, that's actually really important to deny those creeps, and it really makes his laning stage a little bit tougher.
Lifestealer, exotic duo Lifestealer. See in the end, so Nisha ends up in the mid lane on Razor. Right.
He's such a good Wyvern player. Again, I can only highlight this one game, the first game against Newbie. I almost want to give him the MVP from that game just because his Wyvern was so strong. He was able to find really clutch Cold Embraces, but also Winter Curses. He got like a solo kill onto SECC for some reason. I don't even know how that happened. So this is, I don't know, this is a really strong team to look out for. And again, Secret look vulnerable. The last series was not perfect by any means, and I don't want to take anything away from Penta, but a team like Secret generally want to look better against a team like Penta, right? Secret, we look to them as a top 5, top 6 team in the world right now, or at least they want to be a top team, of course, in the world right now. And against a team like Penta, they kind of have to look smoother than that. And since they look kind of weak, I don't know. I gotta give it. I honestly think Kinguin's draft is also better. I prefer it much more because I think Secret's lineup. I'm not sure how much they're going to be able to push against Kinguin. Kinguin have a lot of good ways of dealing with the push. They have the Wyvern, they have the Razor. You know, Patos can just walk in there and can just purify. What are they going to do against that?
The lockdown lacking is my only big concern for Team Kinguin. Yes, they have a Nyx Assassin, but even the Impel stun, we've seen plenty of times that ability whiff, especially against a hero like a Weaver, can be very difficult to land on. So that's my number one concern for Kinguin. I guess the other side of that coin, I would maybe lean towards the side of Team Secret personally, but I'm definitely expecting a great game 1 here to kick off this series. I was going to say we were paused. They did pause for the time being. Analyze this draft. Shadow Fiend, I was really excited to start seeing Shadow Fiend after the latest patch, the whole raise additional damage, and I covered the CIS region yesterday. I forget who played it, but somebody played, and we did see that very aggressive spell damage build. The Yules that started off at least, but also going the talents that would amplify the raises, and even got the 40% cooldown reduction, I believe it was at level 5. The raises you could just use so frequently, and then even all your items. He eventually got a scythe on top of that as well. It's like a 13-second sheepstick. It was like a 3-second blink dagger. I mean, it's pretty crazy, actually.
You know, I actually really missed that that Shadow Fiend build, the whole blink yules, and then you just blow people up. It was like a really popular build at some point, and it was kind of fun to play and kind of fun to watch. You know, just have a Shadow Fiend gank like that, and be sort of like a mid-game aggressor more so than a carry, if anything. I do think it has a place with the talents, like you pointed out. You know, you can definitely build towards that, but in most cases, that just raw damage build is just much more efficient because you can take objectives that much quicker.
Well, I will say this game, you are dealing with the Lifestealer and Omni Knight with the Repel. Like,
right.
The raises might not be as powerful, let alone the Requiem. So that's where, yeah, more the right click is probably. Even the right click, I mean, technically, to be fair, Cold Embrace. It's that, so it is kind of a give and take. This has been an interesting format. I know a lot of people have.
Like whether or not it should be single limb the second stage is, I guess, worth a discussion. But in general, I like the second stage thing, especially teams that are very established. It's just really good for them because they're traveling so much, right? Imagine if Secret didn't have a second stage to fall back on. Imagine if they had to play the first stage as well, despite traveling to Perfect World, right?
That's fair, yeah.
I really like this, and it sort of rewards teams also for consistency, right? Kinguin was invited as well because they were a consistently strong team in the European region, so they earned their second stage sort of like direct invite, and kind of nice.
The one other big thing about this tournament real quickly before we get into game number 1 is, again, it's a 16-team event. It's the first 16-team tournament, the main event at least, that we're going to have of this new circuit season. So that's something else to look forward to. 8 teams were invited. You have 8 more than qualifying. Anyways, after all of that, here we go. Game number 1 underway. Laning phase we go. Patos on Omni-Knight already getting down here. He has 10 tangos on. Ready to regen. Razor, of course, going to end up in the middle lane. Bounty Rune. It's been interesting kind of seeing the interaction of the Bounty Rune and the whole early TP that you get. Obviously, you can't TP now right after you get the Bounty Rune. We're seeing players do that. But mid players still seem to value the idea of getting the Bounty Rune.
Yeah. It's a good sort of like early kicker. And generally speaking, you can always, or you should always force the support to block the creeps for you, so you can get back into lane on time. It's just I don't know, it's just really important to get that early bottled up, or, you know, it's an extra salve, like, all these, like, it really matters having an extra regen early on, and so that's why also you often see bounty runes obviously contested, right? And, because of the way this works right now, you know, usually always have one support dedicated to blocking the mid wave. It makes it much easier to contest bounty runes for one team, because usually, you know, without the Chen there, they can't really fight this right now.
Right, so Shadow Fiend, again, a couple of weaknesses early on. The obvious, he doesn't have any souls just yet, but the other is that he's very susceptible to getting ganked on. Early on, mid one, it seems like it's going to be a rough start. As I say this, they're already going in a lot of damage being sapped. They're going to get him to close to half life even, and we got our tri-lane middle. This really is becoming more and more of a strategy, it seems like, at this latest patch. Teams running 3 heroes middle just to try to secure it for their own.
I like this. I mean, make sure that the SF suffers as much as possible in this lane. It's pretty much the only lane where you can really ensure the secret hero doesn't get a lot. I mean, I guess you could focus the Bad Rider, but there's no point because you don't really need to dedicate supports for this, so that's pretty good. It draws also the other 2 supports to really come to this lane. Or at the very least, it punishes the fact that Secret have a jungler, right? They have the Chen. And he has to at least get a creep, maybe farm a camp, maybe get level 2 or so, and now you force the Chen onto this lane, but it's a Chen. What's he gonna do?
Exactly, yeah. And he's kind of just running at them with the Satyr and Puppy saying hello. Of course, the Satyr is a nice group to have here. The
health regen is actually pretty, yeah, that is actually really good here. I mean, suddenly mid one is full HP again.
Yeah. He's only eaten the 1 tango so far, so you're right. The aura really helping to get him back up to full life even. And they're going to start applying some damage to the tower, possibly. I guess for now they're just more so focused on the last hits, of course. Out comes Shockwave, and they're going in, aren't they? On a Razor. Cold Embrace. They heal him back up, though, and now this dive. Secret probably regretting it pretty quickly. Nisha still to get some more damage. Another Hadouken. He's going to drain the damage of one. Gets plenty himself in return. Nyx Assassin gets a Burl Strike stun on him, though, and first blood is drawn. Mid one gets credit. I mean, I'm honestly just so surprised how well that worked for Secret. They took minimal damage in return somehow.
It's the Unholy Aura. They can't dive the tower because they know, you know, we have plus 5 HP regen anyway. Kind of crazy. And it's so silly to watch a 3v3 mid lane for like the first 2 minutes, but hey, if it works.
Meta, man. Like, again, a lot of teams are focusing on this idea. Yeah, that Penitence also coming into play. Obviously from Chen, the amp damage, the slow that was applied. Patiently nearby, he does have a Hellbear Smasher take over. Gonna just stack though for the meat. Confident with the Chen. He's even still spamming out the middle lane with the Satyr. Eventually will die off there.
He tried to maximize the efficiency on that as much as possible. And now he has another creep which he can go to mid with. I don't know. I mean, it does cost Secret a little bit of time. Are they gonna get this kill? Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, I was gonna bring this up middle one, by the way. That's gonna be a turn kill at least, but now Nisha's also in trouble. The Caustic Finale on and the Burl Strike hits, and Yapsor credit for the kill onto the Razor. The action just continues in this. I haven't even looked at the other lanes yet, and I think that's for good reason. I mean, it's just crazy in the back and forth here. But I wanted to point out, when to ever get in the Cold Embrace at level 2? That's not something you see a lot, but that just kind of shows you how Kinguin's mindset is right now. They're forced to play so defensive.
I think it was also a reactionary play to that one gank mid, or to that one engagement mid where they dove the tier 1 basically. I mean, he thought with the Cold Embrace maybe they save or they prevent the kill from happening. It's but yeah, like you said, it definitely goes to show that Secret are applying a lot of pressure with this lineup already.
Gasor, he's in trouble still actually, even with the Purification heal. Ace putting in the attacks, but not gonna chase too far and has another Shikuchi get away. Look at the Ace, by the way, has a bottle early on. Bounty rune. Bottle it up.
Ace likes doing this a lot, you know, on his silent heroes. I mean, with the bounty rune, and usually they leave him alone anyway, so he can always, you know, push out the wave and then immediately go for the rune. So he likes going for that early bottle. But yeah, as you know, mid lane, yeah, we've seen a couple of kills from Secret here, but at the end of the day, Nisha still more last hits than the SF, and since SF died as well, he lost a couple of souls upon dying as well. So
true,
not great.
Back up to 14 now, but there a little bit. All right, there are the lanes, I promise. Let's take a quick look. Lifestealer versus the Batrider at the top. Lifestealer 25 and 7, Batrider 25 and 4. Safe to say they're both having a great time. Back and forth. And then the bottom, again, the Weaver, the advantage over the Omninex early. 5 versus 9. Back to middle lane. Cold Embrace, saving initially, but all that magic damage from the raises you see coming out and eventually set up the kill on him. Only so much healing Elisa can do with that level 1 Cold Embrace. So it's, yeah, it was a reaction pickup, but it almost feels like it's just not even really doing anything, frankly, because they're just eventually going to die anyways.
Very much just delaying the inevitable.
Yeah. 4-1 start here. So, but with the way the other lanes are going, who do you think is favored currently this early game? Obviously, the mid lane seems like it's going pretty well now already.
Well, we say that, but if... Oh, he should be dead. He's coming in.
Penitence, man. Amping so much damage.
Razor still technically has higher net worth than the... Or, well, now he was overtaken with that one creep wave, but, you know, he's still sort of even in terms of net worth with mid one. So, yeah, he died a couple of times here, but he's still farming fine. I would still give the edge to Secret just because Batrider has such a good time as well, and, you know, maybe they can find another kill here.
Probably dead. The one raise hits, has another one lining up, mid one gets it off, and that's an auto attack to finish the job right there. You do see the Arctic Burn from the side. Mid one's going to take some good damage, but however, not going to be able to do enough by himself. You see Puppy and Fata zoning out, Nyx Assassin in the background. The Splinter Blast connects. Mid one is going to fall, actually, from Elisa right there. But now Yapster cuts him off. That Haste Rune, though, is actually going to keep Wyvern alive. So well played by Elisa there.
Yeah, and effectively they're trading mid for mid hero. And it's not necessarily the best trade for Secret because, you know, SF needs a bit of a better start here. And that's why he TP's top. He's fed up with his lane now.
It's a weird early game, man. There's so many different things going on, it feels like. But Lifestealer, yeah, 41 and 14. Exotic Deer, stable factor right now for Kinguin. I guess even Omni Knight, too, is also doing too shabby. But more so Lifestealer. The early, or not Armlet, it's going to be the Hand of Midas, actually. Deciding to go for here. She will have shortly, very greedy build, but honestly, with the way he's free farming, I guess makes sense though, right?
Yeah, it's the same rationale as the CK Midas in this game. You want to keep up in terms of farm. I don't think they can really expect to close out the game in the mid game, and against SF Weaver, you just need an item advantage here, really. As the lifestealer, he's quite countered here. Weaver and SF are really good counters against him because they have physical damage, a lot of it as well. They're ranged heroes, they can kite him around, they build Hurricane Pikes as well, so not easy for the lifestealer to deal with them, so he needs the item advantage they can get with the Midas.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
In there, they do pick up the bounty rune though. Good job by Secret, and man, great bounty rune control across the board. As well as even the double damage rune taken by them, so 8-minute runes completely secured by Team Secret, really. Makes his win for jungle. Of course, the Animite finished. Phase boots. Affect the coming Razor though. He's playing a bit of the recovery game. Currently 5th overall in the net worth. Power treads are coming along, but what kind of game is this for Razor? You think? Does he need the drums? Or something else?
Definitely want more mobility here. Don't really want to get kited out. You know, there's Batrider, there's Sand King. There's so much slow with Penitence as well. You just don't want to get kited, so build as much movement speed as you can. Sanjin Yasha is a good item here as well. So I expect a very standard Razor build here, really. Yeah, for anyone watching, by the way, Kinguin, and if you don't watch Kinguin a lot, Kinguin's laning stage is never really that great. No offense to Kinguin, but they definitely shine in the mid game when they fight 5-on-5. Like, they usually...
Their strength is team fight, yeah.
Yes, they usually make up for what they lack in the laning stage with superior positioning in the team fights, coordination, timing, really clutch smoke ganks as well. So, yeah, it might not look great right now, and in fact, they're actually behind 2k net worth. Without a tower taken, that's actually insane. But this is Kinguin, and they definitely recover from games like this.
Well, they have an Omni Knight also that's doing all right down here. He's a little bit down on the net worth chart, but you know, not too far behind the Batrider, at least on the other side. And gonna have the Soul Ring as well as the Phase Boots finish now, so Nice early progression from him, but speaking of that, mid one, pushing out middle, and build of Shadow Fiend, by the way. We mentioned drums for Razor on the other side, but mid one going drums himself, actually. Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, it's a good item. They, with the Chen, they definitely want to apply a lot of pressure in the mid game. Even if Chen might still go back for the Midas at some point, but, you know, you want to apply a lot of pressure in the mid game, and with the drums, cheap utility item, and just generally good for mid one as well. Especially since, you know, we can definitely expect jumps on the Razor as well, of course, and you need to keep up with that movement speed after all.
Weaver, by the way, no boots build. He goes right into the Dragon Lance. Now even has the Diffusal queued up.
Oh, that's that Wyvern?
Lisa, he's dead. Like Chen, big part of that, of course, as well as the Burl Strike from Yapser. Now just finished on mid one, being delivered as he heads towards the top lane immediately.
Great timing. Not only do they bait the TP or force the TP from the Lifestealer, but they get a kill, they finish the drums, TP him back so he can finish the drums, and then he immediately TPs back to the top lane to apply pressure here. So this is such good pacing from Secret. Usually, you know, he would have to walk back if they didn't have a Chen, and then he walks back to the top lane or TPs back to the top lane, but effectively they save like 30 seconds in which they apply pressure or force rotations.
Top tower is under attack.
Level 10 hit from Ace, and he has that 20 mana break talent as well, and that's just something else, you know, it's, especially with the Geminate attack. I mean, you look at the mana of Patos, it's just disappearing.
Gone.
For him right here, so something else that, you know, they have to be a little bit concerned about now, but that on top of the Diffusal Blade, which he was going for, as already mentioned, pretty big. Top lane?
Look, it's Catapult from Chen, I believe. I believe it was from Chen. It must have been. But yeah, mid one doing a really good job at sort of ganking, or not ganking, avoiding these ganks rather. They rotated the Lifestealer and the Nyx Assassin top, but mid one immediately went back mid. You know, he's just making sure that they don't find a kill onto him, and whenever he shows up on lane, he pressures the lane as well, pushing out the wave, hitting the tower.
He ports in the middle lane, does have the Casual Buckler currently bottom lane. Patos gets dove on, it seems like, and do anything about it. That was a Flaming Lasso used from Batrider.
Blink done on Fata.
Played there, taking out the Omni Knight, Sand King. Fitting into the Nyx Assassin, but just getting some vision down in Secret, kind of continuing to control things. 3,000 hours later, it just, same story really for Kinguin, goes back to this Lifestealer, and the armlet's almost finished. So if you're Kinguin, oh, he's porting middle lane, there's actually a big fight breaking out. Splinter Blast, Puppy. Being slowed down, the open wounds on top of that. Heavily slowing up Puppy, using the Hand of God, gonna survive for the time being. Does this the center after the side Puppy, though, just out of range of the final attack, but the Infest Nuke from Exotic Deer will finish the job. So they do take out Chen when it's all said and done. Good reaction from Lifestealer there to TP in. Might happen.
Yeah, but it's what, 4 heroes committing for a Chen kill, and they use 2 ultimates for it as well. Granted, these aren't necessarily, you know, high cooldown ultimates, but this just buys so much space and time for the rest of Secret, because Ace and mid one know, alright, what, they already TP mid, you know, just push out these waves. And again, force the rotation. Exotic Deer has to walk back to defend this tower, and what does mid one do? He immediately TPs mid, knows, alright, Exotic Deer's top, it's free tier 1.
Bata, he goes down actually. Over here, you see Ace is trying to finish off the job on Elisa, but the Cold Embrace will barely keep him alive, and it'll be the end of that. So Batrider getting picked off at Secret. Dive in a little bit too much. We mentioned that in the previous series against Penta, where that was the game 2 especially, where they got the early lead, they started going maybe a little deeper than they should, and before you know it, it felt like, in that case, Penta was winning the game and completely turned it over. So careful if you're Secret. Earlier, if anything.
Definitely, but at the same time, the timing this time around was much better because, you know, Winter's Curse was down, and they definitely saw the Lifestealer top, so a lot of damage basically not available for Kinguin. So yeah, they still overextend since the Batrider dies, obviously, but could have been, you know, could have been much worse for sure.
What do you think about this? I feel like we see this every now and then, and Exotic Deer, by the way, is maybe turn this. Nyx Assassin's here with a Vendetta. Yeah, so we're going to back off. It'll be fine. Omni Knight also going the drums. We just talked about how Razor's, in fact, finished his. Omni Knight also going them. Obviously, they're not always going to be together. They have their own active uses. But stacking the drums together, is that an efficient strategy, you think? Or maybe something that isn't necessarily the best value.
It's not bad. I wouldn't even be surprised if, and I believe Fata is also going for a set of drums on the Bat Rider. We definitely see that a couple of times for pro teams to go 2 drums per team. Like you said, they're not always going to be together anyway, you know, and oftentimes we have, the Bat Rider maybe ganking with the Sand King, and then SF is just by himself, maybe using the charges very much only for himself, so it's not bad by any means, and especially in the case of Kinguin, both Omni Knight and Razor definitely need those items. Oh, Yapzor? He should be dead. Yeah.
Bomb again.
But yeah, those heroes definitely need the items because they want the movement speed so much. Both heroes actually really rely on their movement speed. Omni Knight, with his movement speed, and the level 20 Degen Aura talent, he's gonna run down everybody.
Man, Weaver, he is really farming. They're not even top in the game. Again, Lifestealer is, but as the Dragonland's already into the Diffusal Blade Ace, plenty of damage, like I said, Diffusal on top of that 20 mana break talent he has here currently. Fata baiting him out even.
It is worth noting though, yeah, Lifestealer is the top of the net worth, but 2k gold of that is the Midas. So technically speaking, Ace is ahead. I mean, his items definitely do more than what the Midas does right now for the Lifestealer. I mean, the Midas is more of a tool to get even further ahead, or, you know, to stay relevant, to keep farming. So Ace definitely hurting a lot right now, and don't want to face him alone right now. That's why also the Bat Rider was waiting, but good work coming out of here from Kinguin. I believe they saw him rotate earlier in, so they know that he's here anyway.
And when is the timing here for Kinguin? Right, like, this landing phase has been won by Secret for the most part. Outside of Lifestealer, it feels like, you know, Secret's overall did a pretty good job, but is it the Desolator on Lifestealer? Is that maybe, okay, we can feel comfortable grouping up together, hold the bottom lane? Curse on a Bat Rider. They're trying to set up the skill. Fata's running at him, popping the drums. Lifestealer coming in, and Fata, the hand of God will keep him alive, actually, as he TP's out. Oh, the clutch timing right there. So they don't get the hero kill, but I guess now's the answer. Kind of forced into a fight, and let's push bottom tower as a result.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it makes sense to push now since they just rotated bottom, and they know that the Bat Rider TP'd out, doesn't have lasso anymore. But at the same time, I don't think if you're Kinguin, you feel pressured at all to really try and force the issue. Oh, backline.
Big kill. Gonna kill Weaver. Time lapse initially. He's back to half-life though. No vision. He gets out.
Well, and you mentioned it during the draft. That's lack of lockdown, really. They only have the Winter's Curse and then the Nyx Assassin. That's it. So unless, you know, some sort of Bloodthorn comes out at some point, or Abyssal from the Lifestealer, this Weaver is unkillable. And I mean, even at that stage, I expect Ace to have some sort of defensive item to deal with it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to whether it's the Lincolns, the BKB, whatever it may be. But right now he's going pretty full offensive for the most part. Even the Desolator now going to be following it up. And again, the no boot spill. Not that that's the craziest thing on a Weaver. We definitely see that time and time, but even just more reason why he just doesn't necessarily feel like he needs it. And for the lack of lockdown in Kinguin's relevant. He's confident he's going to be able to get those Shikuchis off in the time lapse. And he's going to also try to help his team do a Roshan attempt right here. Not spotted by Kinguin yet. Not the quickest Roshan kill, but it is going to happen at this rate.
Kinguin, unfortunately, don't have good vision of this. They only have 1 ward, or 2 wards, I guess, but Secret smoked up for this. They're going to get this as well. With the SF, very easy for them, of course.
He gets away before stomp him as well. The bottom lane, so he's been a little bit of a distraction while they're doing the Roshan. I'm guessing Shadow Fiend. Yeah, Shadow Fiend picks it up. Shadow Fiend over the Weaver, what do you think?
Makes sense. Weaver's more difficult to kill. Much more difficult to kill than the SF. If they catch out the SF, they can burst him down much quicker than the Weaver, I think. Because Weaver, of course, does have the time lapse, or Kinguin would have to burst him down perfectly, and he would have to time everything perfectly. SF, you can wear him down bit by bit. Oh, speaking of wearing somebody down, Patos so dead.
Repel's not gonna do much there.
Nothing. Basically nothing.
Tried.
Oh, they see Yapzor blinking into the tree line.
Can they get to him though? They can't.
No, they can't. That's actually so sad.
Arctic is on cooldown, so even at level 4, he just used it recently. Elisa, and he's now in trouble. Golden Embrace wouldn't even save him there. And so he goes down. Penitent's up on a Kessor, and He's dead as well, and 3 kills now for Secret just like that, one after the other. So they pinged him out. You mentioned they saw the Sand King, but they just couldn't get to him, and it felt like it made Kinguin chase a little bit too much there. Reaction came out of Secret.
Yeah, I think the idea from Kinguin was, you know, we saw the Weaver and the the Shadow Fiend top. Let's just try and go for a kill bottom. Makes sense, but unfortunately the lineup doesn't necessarily have like insane bursts where they, you know, you pick somebody off, you immediately kill them. Or they don't have great initiation either. They don't have a blink Nyx Assassin right now. Right now the way of initiating is running in, phase boots, Lifestealer, and open wounds somebody. That's it.
Not the most viable.
Yeah.
Splinter Blast is pretty good for creep clearing. Only level 1 though. On Winter Wild, we mentioned he maxed out the Arctic Burn first. He's actually going full Embrace now. So yeah, ideally he's pretty good at split push, but or pushing out and level 1 Splinter Blast. Top lane to be forced out as well. Back to the bottom lane. Tier 2 goes down. Kessler kind of just sat there and accepted that that was going to be the case.
Has to be careful. There's a blink burrow.
There you go. There's the combo. Swarm comes up. Spike Carapace's going to save a little bit. Shikuchi, though, is he going to go for this Weaver? He does have a time lapse, yes, he wants to, but oh, a little bit too deep. Not enough damage for the kill. And now, okay, that's never mind, it was. The Swarm was up. Down. He just gets away. He didn't even have to use his time lapse. Just very smart play by Ace. I'll tell you what, he's definitely been an MVP for Secret as a whole.
Oh, for sure.
Factor in that game 3 on the lone.
Ace is a very fun player to watch. You know, he always comes up with crazy things, and he always tries to push the boundaries. You know, I'm not sure if you remember, but the whole Centaur pushing with illusions, that was one of definitely his things. So mid lane.
That was an MVP play right there from Bata. Meanwhile, the Winter's Curse not in time. And that initiation though, Lasso catches the Razor. He's dead for 45, has a buyback, but not going to be using it here. Mid 1, he's tanking the tower. He's got the Aegis, worst case, but he'll actually be sent back to healing up right after they get the tower kill. You can tell Secret's really feeling it now. They got a nice burst of momentum here. 8,000 net worth lead. Things are just so fluid for them.
Remember, was it maybe like 5-7 minutes ago when he said, you know, I don't think Kinguin needs to feel pressured? I think they need to feel pressured now. Their lineup can't really fight into Secret right now at all. They don't have any great way of initiating into the fight. They can't hold the high ground, really. They don't have like these great wombo combo ultimates they can stack to make sure that, you know, Secret can't siege. I mean, they have the Winter's Curse, that's it. So, if anything, they need to maybe be the aggressors and try smoke up. I don't think we've seen the Infest Vendetta at all. And I honestly want, you know, just to see them smoke up and group up and try and force a kill, force a fight not next to their own tower.
That's what I was about to bring up, and I think that's the biggest issue. That again, the one shining star for Kinguin was a Lifestealer, and hell, even still, net worth-wise, he's doing great, but he's 2-0-0 at 23 minutes into the game. He only have 5 hero kills total, only 2 though himself. It's just not, you know, he's usually also a core, especially with early farm, that's gonna benefit from that in terms of taking a lot of early fights. You mentioned the vehicle that they have with the Nyx Assassin, that's why you kind of pick up this combo if anything too. Is for that, but yeah, really haven't used it. Winter's Curse will stop Bat Rider right here, but Omni still dropping in the races. The Requiem to finish the job. Bata Manda falling, never mind, hand of God, and he's sent back to base. The save from Puppey yet again. They kill the Omni Knight, and they're probably going to look to keep on going. I mean, Bata's already ported back to the middle lane. He's going to be joining the team shortly. 40 seconds, Omni Knight's dead for.
And they blew the big ultimate, the one ultimate which could have potentially given Kinguin at least 1 kill.
Nyx is dead. Nisha. Obviously the Aegis still was reclaimed right there, so Midwest has to be a little more careful, but he just got his BKB. Exotic Deer. Rar. Runs at them with rage, and they kind of just stare at him like, yeah, what are you going to do about it? And now the rage is on cooldown. Not much.
Blink Epi.
There you go, jumping on a Lifestealer, has the Rage coming up right now. The Cold Embrace will save him initially. Catster, though, that's going to be a dieback. Exotic here pops the Rage, he's going in, but he's still even dropping. Double kill for Ace in the backlands. He infests into the creep, the send back on Shadow Fiend. He infests the Alpha Wolf, he's running away with it. Exotic here pops on an Omni Knight, trying to help in the repel, though. The auto attacks of Ace too strong. The Guardian Angel will save him, however, so Exotic here, yeah, at least makes it back to the fountain. That's the good news for Kinguin. The bad news is the Racks are...
Yep, and SF is in full fighting shape. He's back, so they can start hitting the mid tower as well. I guess the saving grace for Kinguin here is that their heroes are so low level that they just respawn instantly anyway. So they can technically still fight for this mid lane. And their abilities are back up. They have Winter's Curse again. But at the same time, it's not like Secret really invested a lot of abilities either. I mean, Epicenter's down, great, but they have Lasso up again.
They reset really quickly. That's the big thing, yeah. And in fact, there you go. The Lasso right on cue. Winter's Curse doesn't even have the chance to use it. He's dead for 30. They are going to lock down Weaver, actually, and they finally will kill him. So that's a start at a comeback for Kinguin. That's 826 bonus gold for Exotic here on top of that. Pretty significant, actually, because now Lifestealer even, he's actually just about has a full AC on top of it.
And they did finish the Radiance and Pathos as well, you know. Those items are coming up, that's definitely great for them, but the fact remains that they can't really fight into Secret that great. They have to run in, and running in with the heroes isn't necessarily that bad because they're really tanky, but at the same time, Secret are so strong right now. You know, you have SF, you're just hitting them, so by the time you run in for an open wounds, you're already half HP. I don't know, I definitely think we need some sort of mobility item from either the Wyvern or the Nyx Assassin to sort of like initiate the fight, draw the attention, because you can't just walk up to people.
Kind of like this.
Yep.
You can't just walk up, doesn't work too well. BKB activated mid one, a lot of damage still being sapped from him, but again, the send back, he's good to go. Buffy does still have the Hand of God, however, he doesn't have mana for it. There is an issue, and he'll TP out, and the rest will survive. So Secret, again, they lost the Weaver initially in that fight, but back up now. Kinguin as a team will retreat themselves. But AC is finished on Lifestealer. You have Razor, BKB, now down to 8 seconds, but still, to be fair, that's a very early BKB, and that's good and bad, because now it's already starting to go down. Cooldown, we're still very early on in the game, technically, but definitely proven to be, you know, pretty good pickup for him to have as well.
And he's starting on the Butterfly as well. Once that one is up, I mean, Kinguin is hours away from the MKB fields. They're never gonna get that in the next 10, 50 minutes at fields. And, oh, actually, the Butterfly is completed. I didn't even see it was on the career. Never mind. That is insane. So going forward, how do you deal... Yeah, Shadow Fiend. How do you deal with this Butterfly? There's no good way of dealing with this. They don't have... They're not gonna get an MKB anytime soon. When they even spot the Vendetta Infest. Yasuo just... Yeah.
I'm looking at his level 20 talent as well for Shadow Fiend. I mean, he could even get the 20% evasion on top of that. Shadow Race damage is pretty good to be... And he did actually go the Spell Lamp level. He might actually go that instead. Mid one decides. But grouping up together, again, as a team, is Team Secret. They do not want to relieve this. They want to just keep it up on a Kinguin. Exotic here, he'll pop out of the Vendetta Nyx Assassin, though, and they're going to smoke up out of this. They were seen doing this. Bata, he's on the uphill. For a target. Mid one just running on in. He's not scared. He knows he has the backup.
Yeah, why not? They don't have good lockdown anyway. Like you pointed out, you know, there's not a lot to punish these kind of aggressive movements right now. If anything, I mean, if one hero is by himself, yeah, they could maybe punish it, but this SF is so difficult to bring down, like Lasso.
Dix, tense. Spiked here, face saving initially, buying a little bit of time for his teammates to come in. Nice, the after stun on Exotic here. The Guardian Angel used the Winter's Curse also activated on the Bat Rider mechanism. Yo, Requiem going out for mid one. Nobody dying from it. Ace is sitting in the front line. He's dropping a half block anytime left in time. He's dying right here. The epicenter though for the Yasser. With the stun, they do kill Weaver, however. Yasser goes down. Exotic here will fall himself. It's just Omni Knight all of a sudden alive on the side of Kinguin. Heroes were exploding left and right. And it does favor Secret in the end numbers-wise, but buyback for Lifestealer. And he's coming back in here. No Weaver for 55 seconds. Just gonna run right at mid one. There's the send back. Always good.
Technically do the whole bear thing. You replicate it with the SF, you know, you just walk up, send back, and then yeah, this is not looking good for Kinguin. This was pretty much the best fight they could have hoped for. You know, they wrap around, they bait it with the Nyx Assassin, or, I mean, I guess they used that opportunity to sort of like bait. It was a really good angle from which the Kinguin took the fight, and they got a really good Winter's Curse as well into the Bat Rider, but it didn't really do anything because Weaver and SF have BKBs, so they don't really get affected by the Winter's Curse. So yeah, that's a bit of a problem.
Certainly is, and again, going across the board, seeing better items that are being picked up here. Weaver, his own BKB, we mentioned the idea he's going to need his own defensive tool, so choosing to go for that. Down to 9 seconds here. MKV also keep him. He's also almost level 20. Decides to go for right there. Shadow Fiend poking in, gonna pick up the illusion rune. Start beating down Exotic Deer. Also is going for it. Jesus, Rage is going to be wearing off soon. Toggling. Impale Stun will stall. Puppy, though, catches up to him. Penitence is up. More amp damage. Heals from Patos, puts on the repel. This is just a game of chase here. Secret, but again, I feel like we've said it over and over, but what can they do against it? They can't stop this. In fact, Nyx Assassin is ultimately going to get caught there. Now he's dead for 50.
It's so silly to look at, but, you know, this Lysander is just getting run down by an SF, and there's nothing Kinguin can do about it. Absolutely nothing. And mid one knows it as well. That's why he's playing so aggressively. He can just do this. They can't punish it. And with the Nyx Assassin dead, I'm not sure they can defend this mid-ranks anymore. I mean, they could try, but it's they need that lockdown for the Nyx Assassin.
Yep. Again, outside of him, it's just the Winter's Curse, really, and that's why for so long you talk about the BKB, he's not caring about it anyways. Here we go, the rain track's easily destroyed. It's just the bottom now that stays up. You see they're pinging out Roshan. Second Roshan is up, so that he's available. Spotted out with Chen. And they say, let's not rush things. Go ahead.
Very disciplined play from Secret here. It's very easy to overextend if you're this far ahead. You know, and they know that they're this far ahead as well. What? Yeah, over 20k net worth.
This is a major spot, man.
Yeah.
Playing it safe is usually going to be the good option. Okay, so I think that's the case here for Secret. Fata.
Fata's positioning is so good.
Yeah, he's gonna catch somebody. Wyvern's like, that's the best target, because now what can they do? If they go for him, Elisa just about dead, he will die. An auto attack later. Ace initially got caught, but he time-lapsed away, and now he's resetting, going back into the Nisha. He has that beacon. He's just being a distraction, if anything, setting up the Yapsor epicenter, buyback on a Nyx Assassin, but now Nisha, that beacon, he's going to be wearing off shortly. And he's going to probably die as a result of the Eye of the Storm's not going to help him there. Exotic Deer has to go toe-to-toe. He does not have a buyback, remember. The stun not going to hit him in one due to the BKB. Buyback on a Razor. Exotic Deer will fall, though. He's dead for 100 seconds, essentially, and that could do it in favor of Secret for game number 1 right here. I mean, Kinguin's still fighting, but with the Aegis, with the Chief still, how do you really win this game with Kinguin at this point? The answer is I don't think you do.
You really don't. Whatever plan they had against the Chen didn't work out.
Rampage. Give him the Rampage. He wants it! He gets it! Well played by Secret. That styling off him at the very end, and you know, we were going over the draft. We had a little bit of extra time to do so, obviously with the pause initially, and yeah, lacking the stuns, man. Really, it almost feels like it does come down to as simple as that for Kinguin.
It does, but I feel like they also could have set the lanes up better. The fact that they lost the mid lane so much as they did, you know, I mean, again, the Razor did well in terms of farming, obviously, but the fact that he just died so often, they